Welcome to the Wolfe Power Club, the weekly podcast where we discuss energy, industry and politics. I'm your host Alex. I've sold and bought a few companies and also I've sold billions of litres. Join me on this journey to net zero. Download on Apple Podcasts. Season 1 brought to you by AIM Recruit, the leading recruiters in logistics, transport and energy at www.aimrecruit.com. Well, welcome back to the Wolfe Power Club podcast. This has been such an exciting Farnborough International for Boeing, and I have the privilege of being sat in the Boeing 777X, which is going to take to the skies in 2025. But why has it been such a big week for Boeing? Well, as you can see, all the headlines about what is the fuel that's going to fuel future aircraft. And essentially what Boeing are saying is they're putting huge investment into SAF, which is Sustainable Aviation Fuel. Now, we're going to have more follow-ups with speakers from their partners on this, but essentially what Bahrain Moran has said, their Sustainable Development Officer, is that essentially there is a role for renewable liquid fuels in their aircraft. Obviously, aviation fuel at this moment is loosely based on a form of kerosene in terms of Jet 1, and what we have found now is that Boeing will be putting their fleet forward. We're very, very excited to be on this 777, and the debate on the future fuels is going to go on and on. So we will look at what the other side of the debate is going to be, but it's great that Boeing have hosted us today at the Farnborough Airshow. Guys, welcome back to the Wolfe Power Club podcast. We've got great competition in this recording from, I believe, a Chinook above us. But most importantly, we've got a very special guest from California. We have got Jay from Wisk. Welcome to the Wolfe Power Club podcast. How is Farnborough treating you, Jay?
Thanks, Alex. Glad to be on the podcast. Really appreciate you stopping by. Come and see what the future of aviation looks like. For the air show, Farnborough has been fantastic for us.
Now, as Jay said, it's the future of aviation. Can you just tell our guests, and we obviously there's going to be some beautiful shots of the actual Wisk thing. You're about to start testing, I believe, but what is the project you've been working on for the best part of the last decade?
Yeah, very simple. We're working on an all-electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. We're designing this one, our 6th generation, for passenger carry. We want to start moving people around and help alleviate some traffic and make everyone's lives a little easier. And we're taking the pilot out. We're fully autonomous, and that's it's just one small little piece of it.
Wow, so it's fully autonomous, fully electric?
Yep, fully electric, fully autonomous, 4-passenger.
Oh, wow. So can you sort of describe to us like the sort of customer that you believe will happen? So say you're based, the big boys there.
We are quieter than that Chinook flying around.
Can you sort of say as the sort of customer base that Wisk are looking to win over with this fully electric, automated flying?
Yeah, the customers we're going after for is really everybody. We don't want this to just be for the rich people that can afford it. I mean, there's already helicopters and people that need to use them can use them. We're looking to really bring safe everyday flight to everyone. We want to use this in similar ways to a taxi or a train or a double-decker bus here in London.
And certainly in London, we've got Battersea Airport. So when it does pass the testing, do think about the Power Club. And we're happy to take a flight from Battersea out to Farnborough. That would be a perfect journey. And I was just wondering, what was the passion of Wisk to go electric rather than standard aviation fuel or other power source?
Yeah, the electric source, it's always been since the start of the company, just the power source we wanted. The company's been around since the 2010, 2011 timeframe, and we're Silicon Valley. We originally are from Silicon Valley, and at the time, Tesla started working on electric cars, and it kind of looked like where the future was going. And this was the path we've always wanted to take. We've never looked at alternative power sources. It's been electric from the beginning, and it's been autonomous since 2017.
Wow, that's amazing. Because I guess the autonomous part, without going into too much detail, is it kind of similar to some of the autonomous drones here? Like what's the tech behind it? Or have you worked with your sort of parent company, Boeing, on that autonomous part?
Yeah, so for the autonomous part, we're looking for, you have to alleviate how many pilots are needed. Right? A helicopter, the reason a helicopter is expensive is you have a pilot on board, maintenance is heavy, and fuel is expensive. With electric, of course, maintenance goes down. There's not as many moving parts. Electric motor is a lot cheaper to replace than a turbine. I know that the Chinook that's still flying behind us, their maintenance bill it's got a few engines, a couple big rotors. Their maintenance bill is real heavy. But no, we're not having to fight those issues with the electric one.
That's fantastic. Now, on the Power Podcast, as we've always said, we love to know about the people behind the machines. So, Jay, can you tell us a bit about your journey, about how you ended up, involved in this team at Wisk, but what was your career before that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this October will be 15 years since I got my airframe and power plant license. I'm originally a mechanic. I went to school north of Boston. I did a startup job. It was my first one out of school. We were doing an auto gyro, had a big rotor blade on top. Great project, really enjoyed research and development. From there I went to General Atomics, worked on Predators, so I got to go to a complete opposite side of aviation, long enduring flights, and it had a turbine on the back, and we were using Jet A. Missed doing research and development. So I was on Craigslist one night. You guys have that? You guys have Craigslist?
We do, yeah.
I found my job here at Wisk on Craigslist. A couple weeks later, had an interview with my boss, who's one of our chief engineers now, and 9 years ago, accepted a job here at Wisk. I've been playing with electric planes ever since.
Oh, that's amazing. I guess one of the other things that I think that Wisk will be really ready for, so on the show we cover a lot about how both in the States, how the United Kingdom and the European Union, there's a lot of legislation about emissions in cities. It sounds like this might be the perfect fit for, the cities that, whether they've got emission zones or lower zones. Do you think that would be a real opportunity for Wisk, that once you guys have passed the testing, that essentially in low emission zones you'll meet those targets?
I think we can. I think another way to look at it too is if we have 4 passengers in the vehicle as it flies from here up to London, that's 4 less vehicles on the road. That's 4 gas emitting vehicles with high emissions that will not be on the road that day while we're transporting them in an electric powered plane. So there's the flip side of it, of what we're alleviating. And then also, in turn, if you have enough of these flying around, one of them gets rid of 4 cars, you have a few of them, it starts to add up more and more, traffic starts to decrease, then the car's able to get to their destination quicker, then you're going through less fuel. So it's a trickle-down effect that could have positive impacts on emissions.
And then I heard 2024 is quite an exciting year, the second half, in that one of your colleagues was telling me that the Wisk is going to fly and it's going to be tested. What does that mean for our listeners in terms of what happens on this testing? What are they trying to find? And are you trying to pass anything or meet any regulations?
Yeah, between you and I, it'll get down to the flight facility I run, and we're going to get to play around with the toy, and really excited to get Generation 6 up in the air. It's more than just a toy for us, but we're going to have a blast getting just initial first flight in and taking steps towards transition flight, and really just get the systems all working together and out there testing. It's going to help drive some engineering changes if we need to before we start building a conforming aircraft and really start doing the certification process. So really baby steps, first flight. We're hoping to do that here real soon, and then it'll lead right into certification.
So I think it's very exciting times with your parent company Boeing. They've obviously made big announcements at Farnborough this week on Sustainable Aviation Fuel. They've obviously made this a main point of the show because you guys have the most beautiful arena down here at the runway with the Wisk skin. Is it an exciting place to be at the moment in a Boeing company, because they seem to be really looking at all technology that's out there to potentially power an aircraft?
Working with Boeing has been fantastic. They came in as a joint venture pre-COVID about 2019, and we've been working with them ever since. And funding's great. Money does help things, but Boeing is a big company with a lot of resources. There's engineering resources, there's supply chain resources. From the flight facility and flight operations, I have connections within Boeing that I can make a phone call. If we're looking at how do we want to improve our tool control, or what does operations look like in airport, how do they do things, what can we learn from them, it's valuable. Just to have those phone numbers and those contacts really helps us improve. So it's nice to keep the lights on, but it's also nice to get to learn what Boeing's been doing. They just celebrated 108 years, and yeah, we'll gladly take information they want to share with us, and work together to bring this to a reality.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm excited, because when you got a partner like that, Boeing have just time and time success history of getting not only aircraft in the sky, but stuff that moves passengers all around the world. There's probably not a single person that listens to this podcast that has not been on a Boeing aircraft at some point in their lifetime, and I can't wait till they go on the Wisk. Now, just a quick few sort of things to wrap up, because we like to know the man behind the company. As we all know, we all kind of like, as you said earlier, our toys. Is there anything you like to ride or drive in California when you're not at Farnborough?
I like to ride my old Harley. I do have a few carbureted Harleys. It's kind of nice to, I enjoy working on all this new tech, but sometimes it's nice to take something out of the garage that might shake a little bit, make a little bit of noise, and it puts me at peace. It's quiet.
You definitely, Jay, are the right fit for the Power Club. We believe in all technologies, but we do love the spectrum of age, beauty, and passion. And I always liked what Warren Buffett said about Harley when he helped them out financially a bit during COVID. He said, any company where someone tattoos the label on is a company worth investing in. So there you go. Final thoughts. Is there anyone else in either Boeing or aviation that that you think should come on the Wolfe Power Club podcast in the near future, or in just aviation in general?
Oh, if I was to invite someone out, I got a great counterpart, Cam. He works over at Beta. It's another electric aviation company. They're in Burlington, Vermont. Love working with him. Would definitely ask you guys to talk to him, see what Beta's doing. I think they're a fantastic company, and yeah, Cam's been one of the better friends of mine that's in this industry, and yeah, that'd be a good one to get in contact with.
That's it. Well, can I thank you for coming to Farnborough? It's just awesome to see. As you guys will see on the Power Club, it's one of the most beautiful colours. I love yellow, so to see a bright yellow aviation electric taxi that's soon going to be flying out of London Battersea Airport on the test flight with Wolfe Power Club. We can't wait. So really, thank you very much, Jay. Great interview, and thanks very much for being at Farnborough this year.
Thank you, Alex. We really do appreciate it.
Cheers, thanks, guys.